not only what we say, but how we say it. And lately, it seems, we as a nation and as a people have become more argumentative than ever before. Shows like Crossfire and even Jerry Springer have moved conversation from dialogue to debate. Deborah Tannen argues for a move back to civil disclosure or discourse in her new book, which is called The Argument Culture. And it's a pleasure to welcome Deborah Tannen to our program. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Delighted to
Let
be
me
here.
ask you here about the role of television in moving from dialogue to confrontation. What role has the boob tube played in this?
Oh, television has played a very large part. There's an idea that the news or any other show has to be entertainment, and then a belief that conflict is the best entertainment. So everything is turned into a fight. If there's an issue to discuss, you get the two people with the most polarized views possible and let them slug it out. We use war metaphors to discuss just about anything.
Yeah, we're good at putting out heat, but not very good at putting out light in some of these controversial issues.
Yeah, I mean, the danger with always having the polarized views is that most people are somewhere in the middle. But
right. Yeah, we're a centrist nation.
That's right, and you don't see that, and then it actually affects how people relate to each other. They see this, they see the model of approaching everybody as your enemy, and then you get road rage and all kinds of other, I have a business proposition, or I have talked to somebody on the phone, and you realize how much more often now people will be treating you as an adversary.
Now, in putting together the book that you have here tonight, The Argument Culture, I read that you studied conversations. You taped conversations and you studied them. How do you do that? I mean, you tape people, and where are they having these conversations, and what are they talking about?
I am a sociolinguist.
Okay.
I tape record conversations that I just happen to be part of. I wrote a book called...
Well, so do I.
Here we are right now.
Right. I'm tape recording your conversation tonight.
And I'm studying
it.
I wrote a book called Talking from 9 to 5 about the workplace. I had people just take tape recorders with them as they went about their business, and then I study the transcript. I've studied dinner table conversations, conversations among husbands and wives, partners, gay partners.
And you were on the up and up. Everybody knew they were being taped, right?
People always know that they're being taped. I don't believe in taping people without letting them know.
And what did you find out about conversation after listening to all these tapes? Was it styles of conversations, method of conversation, direct conversation, indirect?
You know, we often think in terms of psychology. So my mission as a sociolinguist is to point out how you speak can often affect what goes on in that conversation. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
A husband and wife, the wife told me, you know, she says, my husband doesn't think I can tell a story myself. We go out somewhere, I start telling a story, and he starts trying to tell it for me. You know, he's taking it over from me, and it's such a sign of disrespect to me. And I said, well, you know, that could be the case, but he may have a conversational style. Maybe it's from the East Coast, maybe a certain ethnic background, where he believes this is a way of showing that I'm on your side. It's being...
Oh, I'm being supportive.
I'm being supportive,
okay.
And it's kind of like, it's a conversational duet. Together we're going to play the same song. And I said, you know, you really have to think about conversational style to understand how he means it before you draw the conclusion.
And
that
did she understand what you were
Well, she did.
saying?
Yeah, she did, especially when I said, well, maybe it's because he's from the East Coast, East European background. She said, oh my goodness, that's exactly what he is.
You're from New York, right?
I am.
New York girl, okay?
That's right.
And I'm a California guy. I mean, I've lived here for most of my life, my adult life, although I spent 10 years in New York, which I love dearly.
And my husband's from California, so I know about the New York, California.
Well, now, in your household, the New York versus California conversation, how do they differ?
Well, in some ways, I have to say that my husband is not quite typical because he spent his first 8 years in New York. But typical thing that would happen between a Californian and a New Yorker, you, the Californian, gets the feeling that the New Yorker is interrupting you. And you start thinking, gee, you know, you only want to hear yourself talk.
Right,
Because you're waiting for that nice long pause so that you know my turn is up and it's your turn to begin. But for me, that pause starts to feel uncomfortable. And I want to be a good conversationalist, so I'm going to fill in that conversational silence, keep the conversation going.
So you don't want any dead air, do you?
Well, New Yorkers, and not just New Yorkers. I mean, this
East
could
Coast,
be
right? It
could be East Coast. It could be it could be French, German, people from parts of the world where conversation is fast-paced. Anytime there's a difference in a sense of pacing, the person waiting for the longer pause is going to get interrupted. Another thing, this was a real conversation that took place at a Thanksgiving dinner. I was the New Yorker, I admit, trying to have a conversation with someone who worked at Walt Disney here in Los Angeles. And I was trying to be friendly. So I asked a lot of questions. You're from LA? What do you do there? You're a writer?
Uh-huh.
You're an artist?
Yeah, just trying to introduce you. Yeah.
Just trying to
Get the conversation, break
going.
the ice, as it were, right?
But what happened was the opposite of what I expected, because it was the way I was saying it. See, the high pitch, the fast pacing, kind of a clipped way of saying it.
It's almost like you're machine gunning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He felt it as machine gun questions, and that's what I call it.
And was intimidated by it, right?
Yeah, so he backed off and was kind of hesitant. He said, I work for Disney, like as if he didn't even know the place that he worked. And I thought I had asked more questions to make him relax. And the more questions I asked him,
shut up, and he probably would have answered you. You know, you New Yorkers go again.
Now I have to say we're still friends.
All right. You know, I remember. Would you tell me where the Empire State Building is, or should I just go? Yeah. Not tonight. Soon, though. Yeah. Let's take a little break here in the festivities. Deborah Tannen is the guest. Her book is called The Argument Culture. When we come back, you on the toll-free as time permits, and more of that thing you love. Now these messages.